Here we are in a super secret area and location that can't really fill you in on, but I'm going to shoot some video for our buddy Chuck so that he can play with it. We got the infamous Wiley Bill over there, and Mr. Chris Watson, and Josh Mangum as well with us today, spraying himself down looking for ticks, chiggers, anything he can find. So we will get back to you when we can, and we appreciate the opportunity. All right, watching Big Billy go to work. Come on, dig up something good, Bill. Okay, Chris, I know it's a little noisy in the background, but give us an idea of what's going on.
Well, we know this is a Revolutionary War site, and last year we brought the Bobcat in here to try to expose some ground and move some brush around. And we brought it in for about 3 days, and on the last day, just for last, we came into this area and we started shaving off layers. And we were finding more and more, every time we'd take 3-4 inches off, we'd find more and more stuff. And we finally got down probably a foot, maybe as deep as 18 inches, and we exposed a campfire pit. And found quite a bit around that, a lot of the pottery shards that Josh has got. Randy found a beautiful, almost immaculate USA button. It looks like the day it was dropped. It was still shiny when it came out of the ground. I'm sorry about that.
Sorry.
We had to jump in there because we saw an oyster shell that we uncovered. Anyway, when we dug into the fire pit, we realized that this was indeed the exact camp area, and that it was so deep we probably could not metal detect 18 inches deep in this mineralized soil. That's why every time we shaved 3-4 inches off, we got more stuff. So what we've done, this was at the end of the long weekend last year that we discovered the campfire pit. We took our last 15 minutes before we had to reclaim the area, and we dug a second campfire pit out right at the base of the walnut tree over here. And we've gone ahead, we started to again shave that down and approach the layer where that campfire pit's at. And we're going to, based on the layout that we see here in proximity to the road and all, we expect another one to be right in this vicinity here where Bill's starting to clean out. But our plan is to just go down 6 inches and then take 2, 3, 4 inches at a time, shave it off, metal detect the dirt, and expose campfire pits, and hopefully there'll be some more of those pristine USA buttons for us.
Amen.
You know, so far so good. The dirt's right, and
ground's just wet enough.
Just perfect for it. And we're already starting to expose stuff like this, where we know, you know, that for certain came from those troops.
Absolutely.
It's amazing. How in the world did they get oysters this far in? How'd they do it? It's hard to do nowadays.
All right,
obviously,
folks.
FedEx delivered them to them. So.
We'll get right to you when we find something good. Okay, here we are, day 2, hunting in God's country. Yesterday was not as successful as of course, as we would expected. We did find a few things, just a few flat buttons. I hope these cameras will take it. A lot of oyster shells and pottery, but not a ton to show for the day. But Wiley Bill's getting ready to crank up and get started again. The rest of us are getting tick sprayed up, and we hope to get back to you real soon with something to show. You can see clearing out around a house site here that has quite a bit of colonial history around it. We believe this is part of the foundation, as you can see the old brick in here. And Bill's continuing to scrape down stuff. We haven't even gotten to swing a detector yet this morning, but we will shortly. And hopefully somebody will turn up something in here that turns out to be absolutely phenomenal. We will get back to you when we find something good. All right, here we are. We're finally getting everybody cranked up out here. Lots of holes being dug. Here's a neat little find. Turn that off. Don't know exactly what that is. It's almost like a finial, but it's very ornate. Could be off the top of a lamp, or could actually be a box cover of some kind. I hope you can make that out. All right, Chuck, we'll get back to you. All right, Chuck, still cutting away. All right, not much for the morning. Piece of a toneback that got cut in half. Finial was probably the nicest piece, probably off a lamp, because this was the piece that was found below it, or with it. Nice old mule shoe, and just some miscellaneous brass, but you know, still digging. Back at you soon. Okay, here we go. Bill's found something. Look at this, folks. A little hard to see, but it looks like a piece of a gun part. Go ahead and pull that out of there. Let me see what you... Yeah, I believe it is. Does look like it. Very interesting. Good job. Back at you soon.
Another good piece of brass.
All right, 5 minutes back in. Got a little two-piece button of some kind. It's got something on it, but we really can't tell quite yet. We will get it cleaned up. We will get back to you. Okay, got a good little find here. I think I can see it right up under here. Aha, look at there. Piece of a, as my buddy Chuck calls them, a juice harp. Or Jew's harp. Came out down in this little piece of the dirt. That's a nice little find to have. And nicked it right there on the end. But that's a good one. You know what, I'll take that one. All right, back at you. Let me come back over here. Let me come back and see what Randy find.
It's a revolutionary.
A revolutionary
nail.
Oh! But this little pits, this black charcoal is very interesting.
It's crippled though. Looks like one I would have drove.
Come back to you. Okay, we're still digging here, and I'm sorry I get too close to the camera, but there's a fire pit here, and I just want to show you the difference in the color of the dirt. See how the if you can see, there's a little bit of ash, and there's a different coloration in the color of the dirt.
Fire pit. You think it's a fire pit? Yeah. Well, let me push all that loose stuff back over yonder out of the way. Spread that out, eh? Yeah. That's worth hunting.
Here we go.
Spread it out this way.
Okay, here we are, day, I think I've lost track now, 4, something like that, 3 or 4. And we're cutting in next to an old well, as you can see, there's an old well over there. We're trying to cut in a little deeper. I did find this really nice little flat button a little while ago. You know how it is, flat buttons, you'll take them each and every time. We hope to get down. You can see the brick we're finally getting down to. Hopefully this will produce a little bit better for us, we hope. Back at you in a little bit. Okay. We're going to do a quick wrap-up video here of this hunt up in God's country for Chuck to take and do some video editing on. So I'm going to try to go through some of the items that were found over the weekend. And we'll start with, we found this Indian this Indian grinding stone, which is really interesting because it's actually got grinding parts on both sides. Probably the best one I've ever found, if not the only one I've ever found, but it's very apparent how it actually was used. Some of the other items that we found, well, found a piece of a pocket watch, of course. We found some lead, the miscellaneous toneback buttons, flat buttons. This was a really interesting find. This appears to be a finial. We think the site was too old to actually be. It looks a lot like a lamp top, but we think the house site was way too old to have a lamp top, so this was probably a finial off of some sort of box that was used. Did find 2 Jew's harps, which was very interesting. Very nice little small pinky thimble. This is actually a pewter button. It's very difficult to see, but there is no design on it. But it's a very interesting button in itself. Again, tone back buttons from the 1800s. Very interesting, rather large flat button. It's kind of corroded though. I can't get much of the goop off of that one. Here's another nice little flat button. It was silver washed, as you can see. Nice little blue ceramic button. And then this button, which does have some design on it. Try to get it under the light. It's really difficult to make out, but it's got some things impregnated around the sides of it. I kept hoping that it would say "Long live the President," but so far I haven't been able to pull a GW or "Long live the President" off of it. But ultimately, it was a pretty good weekend. A lot of nice things to find to put into my collection. From the previous time I hunted this site, very quickly. This was the previous finds from the site. As you can see, some buckles, buckle pieces, good old-fashioned modern dime, harmonica reeds. And the first time I hunted this place, I did find a nice large cent. 18, I believe it's 22 large cent. More flat buttons and a very nice pewter button. Unfortunately, we couldn't make out much design to it from the Rev War, but it actually turned out to be a pretty nice button once I got it set up so that it wouldn't fall apart. Musket balls. We still have, and a brass ring. We still haven't located the Rev War camp that was on this site. It was supposed to have 2,500 to 3,000 men on it. But hopefully the next time and the last time we go to this site, we'll find it. Look, we appreciate it very much. Enjoy you looking at the sites and the things that we found. Do a good video, Chuck, and we'll see you in the field.